7:15, Wednesday, June 11th. We've got the indoor-outdoor thermometer. How warm is it indoors? 67. That's because I turned the heat on yesterday. Yes, I did. And it's up to 65 outdoors. Now, you got to understand, it's been about 60 for several days in a row, but now the sun is out on a Wednesday, of course. Let's go out the front door. T-Rex did not make the journey. So it's just TK, and look, the door is all fogged up. We've had some condensation, and it rained yesterday. It's on the outside, though, so that means the dew point is up above the temperature of the glass. And so it's still morning. How does that happen? How is there no wind? Didn't you say it was going to be windy on Wednesday? Well, when the sun gets higher in the sky, it is going to be a fairly windy Wednesday. But for now, the front has just gone offshore, and we have technically cold air advection up in the sky, but look at this across the pond. I love when water becomes a mirror with a duck in the middle. Hey, baby ducks somewhere. I don't have my noise canceling mic on, so you can hear the birds, and when I zoom in, I lose the audio, but then when I zoom back out, now you can hear me clearly again. And let's start with the regional temperature roundup. Yesterday it was stuck at about 58 or 59 degrees at Boston, but then last night the temperature went up behind a cold front. Isn't it supposed to get colder behind a cold front? No, not when the wind comes in from the west instead of the east. Boston 64 degrees this morning. The dew point is falling through the 50s in southern New England. The dew point is down to 48 in Plymouth, New Hampshire. So we had some valley fog, a decoupling of the atmosphere last night, but this is nice low humidity, and the temperature is going to rebound with a wind from the west into the 70s and 80s. Today is a gorgeous day. To the wind, Crow is pointing toward the northwest, and it's going to pick up. It's going to become quite gusty today from the west-northwest. It's high pressure to our south. Now, when these highs go to our south and you get the clockwise circulation, the wind comes in from the west. There's the surface map. The front is offshore this morning. It's about a 10, 19, 10, 20 high. Not the strongest high, but when they go into the southeastern United States, that's not really a cold high. That's a pretty warm high pressure system, especially when you're within 10 days of the summer solstice. Yes, the summer solstice is now in the 10-day forecast. Shall we go and find the sun? Oh, there's the sun. There it is. Satellite image this morning. It doesn't get much better than this. And even there's not much smoke. So there's New England, mostly clear, some valley fog, and you see a little waft of smoke across Pennsylvania. And there's going to be some smoke in our sky today, and there may actually be a raindrop or two. Let's look at the smoke forecast for today, and you can see kind of waves of smoke around the low pressure system in central Canada, another low pressure system in northern Canada, so we're even on the periphery of some smoke bands. So the sky will be of a changing sky today. Out here, look at this thermometer, it's 62 degrees. Now, it did pour down here on Cape Cod. There was some impressive rainfall amounts scattered around southern Vermont. Rawlinsville, 1.32. I don't know all the villages in New England. I've never heard of Rawlinsville, but good job keeping the grass green in Rawlinsville. It's just kind of fun saying that. And then you get to the Boston area, the gauge I had at home, we had a shower with about a 0.12, 0.13. It doesn't look like much happened after that. Boston coming in with less than 0.2. But like I said, it was going to be a rainfall lottery. And here on Cape Cod, look at that. And the islands, Martha's Vineyard came in with more than 1.6 inches on the southwest side of the island, and that rain band came right into the mid-Cape. And here in South Dennis, the Coco Ross Observer saw 1.55. When I got here, I did my rudimentary, very poor quality control rain in my bucket, and we'll see some of this in the video. The rain in my bucket came out to more than 2 inches, so I got to get an official Coco Ross. Come on, focus these lenses on this iPhone. Yeah, there's more than 2 inches of rain in my bucket, so our grass is green for the foreseeable future on Cape Cod, right into the solstice now. Grass normally goes dormant, and I have not turned on my irrigation yet. This is all just natural rainwater. And our neighbors across the street over here, Dolores, does not turn on her irrigation because I don't think she has it. Whoops, trying to focus there. So just gorgeous, and the pine pollen is done. The oak worm factor seems to have really diminished, so it's time to wash the windows. I always wait for after the pollen season, and the deck is still in pretty good order. After last week, we didn't have too much wind with the rain. And I put some seed down here, and that's seeds coming up. And is that our three-eared rabbit? Hard to say. All right, here's the forecast for today. There is a weak upper level low to our north, and there's going to be some cool air instability, and the NAM is generating just a couple of showers, maybe even a brief thunderstorm or downpour. And you can't place this exactly, but it shows it coming across southern Vermont there at about 3-4 o'clock, racing east over the Merrimack Valley, over in southern New Hampshire about 5-6 o'clock could be a quick downpour, maybe a rainbow on the backside of that. And that goes offshore. Now tonight it's going to be breezy tonight, so a few places may radiate and get down into the 40s, but nice comfortable night for sleeping with a dew point in the 40s. And then tomorrow, same thing. There's a bit of a boundary up in the sky and a surface front getting closer in southeastern Canada, so there's a chance for a shower or a thunderstorm, those small specks again tomorrow. So a couple of us get a little downpour. There goes the bunny. I get so close to the bunny, and later you'll see all the turkeys and the baby turkeys that were here. Look at him hiding under my asparagus right there. This is not, is that the three-eared bunny? Nope, clearly 2 ears on that bunny. Tim, count your ears. So we're in the rescue garden right now, and there's the worm farm, and what was I going to talk about? The wind. Oh yes, it's sailing day today, and Hingham Bay. What happened last week? You know, I didn't even look at this graphic that I'm showing now, but this is the NAM wind forecast for southern New England, and I think we're going to be sustained out of the west-northwest at about probably maybe 13-14 miles per hour with some gusts of 20 to 25, if not stronger, but that wind will start to diminish during the day. But with those showers going off just to your north, maybe you end up with a steady 15+ mile per hour in Hingham Bay from the west as the sun goes down. And with a full moon last night, or actually it's today, this morning, the tide will be low at evening. So you have your high tide at midday and midnight on the day of the full moon. And it was a very low moon, so you have to look pretty low in your sky tonight off to the east and south to see the moon, which should be a mostly clear moonrise in most of New England, perhaps a decaying rainbow going all around the house right now. Just listening to the birds, looking at the weather here. I call this house Bass River Beauty. You can understand why, right? You get striped bass right in there. Crabs, quahogs, and eels, all kinds of fish. We used to have oysters and used to have steamers, not so much anymore. All right, so just relishing this beautiful Wednesday. It is a Mayflower Beach kind of day, although your east-facing shores here on Cape Cod, the national seashore, when your wind is from the west, that offshore wind, maybe there's a little surf out there. Whoa, I just got swiped by a bird. Was that a crackle? Just almost got my elbow. So we've done a 360 around the house. Now why don't we do the Euro 5 to 10 day forecast where it's a moving target, the weekend. I guess I should show the Euro meteogram here for Boston first. And the red line is the temperature, close to 80 today. And you see the blue line, the dew point kind of spiking up and down a little bit, mostly in the 50s, but the blue line separate from the red line means we don't have any fog, we don't have any low clouds, and the arrows at the bottom are which way the wind is coming from. Wind from the west, gusting 25 to 30 today. It lets up tonight. The wind from the west to northwest again tomorrow. And then the temperature and the dew point start declining simultaneous on Friday afternoon. Then the arrow at the bottom, the wind comes in from the east on Saturday and Sunday and Monday and Tuesday. As high pressure goes to our north, we're going to cool it down here, and the jury is out on how much rain this weekend. It does look like there's going to be at least a little rain, and I think that the Euro is a little optimistic where it shows more sun than clouds over the weekend, because you'll see in the graphic form in a moment. That's not looking that good this weekend. And then of course the temperature goes up again next week. Suddenly Summer Part 3. If Suddenly Summer Part 1 was a week ago and Suddenly Summer Part 2 is right now, suddenly real summer comes with the solstice next Friday, which is now in the 10-day forecast, which we shall see now in the graphic form using the Euro from Pivotal Weather. It's called ECMWF. That's the initials for the Euro, and the timestamp is in the upper left. That's in Greenwich Mean Time, or Zulu, and 0Z is 8 p.m. today, and there's that scattered shower going by. High pressure is to our south, low pressure to the north. So even though it's getting fairly breezy, it should die down at night with the lack of sunshine, then it picks up again during the day. Tomorrow, as the sun comes up, the wind picks back up, and we have a front sliding in our direction from southeastern Canada. I'd imagine we're going to have waves of smoke too, and a chance of a shower, and then the wind's going to come in more from the north on Friday, but that 570 line's still here. So in southern New England, especially at the south coast, we should still be 85 to 90 on Friday before much cooler air. Now we get high pressure to our north starting on Friday night and Saturday, and there's going to be a front stalled right across New England. See the blue H to our north. That's where the air is going to be coming from, and it's going to come around from the north and even the east on Saturday with showers, and it looks like a little brighter for Saturday afternoon. And now here's where it's a big change. On Sunday, it shows more of a wave of low pressure and a better chance now for showers on Sunday. Showers, and with that easterly wind, we'll probably have the low clouds and the fog coming in to places like here and Cape Cod on the islands and the Boston and the Maine coast. So not the brightest weekend. And then that whole storm that it had for last couple of days, it had a big storm here coming in Monday night and Tuesday. Look at Monday now, it looks beautiful. High pressure is over us, and that storm that was supposed to maybe come near Long Island, it's instead over North Carolina and Virginia, leaving us in pretty good shape with low pressure to our south and low pressure to our north. We're kind of in no man's land, probably warming gradually back up through the 70s into the 80s by about Wednesday or so, and then we're going to have heat coming at us with some warm front showers and thunderstorms, it looks like next Wednesday night and Thursday. And now day 10 is Friday, June 20th. That is the summer solstice, the highest sun of the year in the northern hemisphere, and it is going to be hot in the United States. New England, we're kind of on the boundary. We see the 570, so that can indicate 90 degrees here. And there is cold air in Canada, from wall to wall cold in Canada. We're on the dry side right there with the warmer side, and you still see, I talked about it the last couple of days, the thickness, the 582 indicates temperatures probably near 100, and then the 588 thickness is in South Dakota, which would indicate temperatures of potentially 100 to 108 degrees over South Dakota, coming east toward New England at that time. But there's a lot of cold in Canada, so I suspect that there's going to be a battle zone with showers, thunderstorms, but that'll be suddenly summer for real, the solstice happening, and also the temperature should be near 90 by the end of next week again. So we're really getting to this pattern with the weekend wetness, and then we gradually undo it. This week was an anomalous wet Tuesday. Looks like we're going to straighten that back out next Tuesday and Wednesday, right the ship, and then it gets warm to hot the second half of the week before the weekend changes. So no way I'm going to call the first weekend of celestial summertime. That's what we're going to call it. We've been in meteorological summertime since June 1st, but celestial, as far as the skies go and the sun, it starts next Friday, June 20th. So nice strawberry moon in the sky. This is beautiful. Always that question, to do chores or go to the beach. Do I want to go to the National Seashore? I kind of do, but I didn't bring my surfboard, and I did go surfing on Sunday. Sorry I didn't get any video of that, Kate and everybody. Thank you all for the comments. And Bruce says, when are you going to get a boat, TK? And I said, I'll get a boat when I don't know anybody with a boat. Well, I have lots of friends with boats, and I'll just stick with my surfboards and stand-up paddleboards. Thank you, Bruce. And what other comments? I don't remember. Oh, yeah, Storm Chaser, Mass. I really appreciate your input too. And I can't remember what we were joking around about yesterday. Somebody asked me what kind of grass that was growing in Weymouth. I said it's crap grass, which is worse than crab grass. That's in Weymouth. So I take care of a couple of lawns. Right now we're looking at the dewdrops on the bitter dewdrops on the bridal wreath petals. So this grass here on Cape Cod, that's Zoya grass. Zoya, like they have at the golf course. My dad didn't really plant it. It just kind of landed here and spread. And now most of you have maybe bluegrass. I got Zoya grass, which grows low and tight. I could make a putting green right here. So I try and use minimal herbicides and pesticides. This is pretty much all natural, just some regular potash and nutrients like that, without any herbicides or pesticides. And I have not turned on the irrigation over here, and this lawn is looking pretty hurting right here. and it's always tough keeping up with the neighbors. All right, so yesterday and more, the weather is done. The and more yesterday features a different phase of the Weymouth Big Dig, the concourse that's being built. We watched them preparing for the ramp. It was kind of a lazy time lapse as the rain was moving in, and then I chased south to the rain here and encountered it coming over in through Plymouth, the downpours, and then coming down here yesterday and seeing the turkeys and the mother turkey and the baby turkeys all going up into the tree, and seeing Mom hold the babies way up on a branch, the ones that could get up there anywhere, underneath her wing. That was so interesting. And did you know that turkeys, as soon as they're born, Dad takes off and then Mom raises the kids, unlike, say, geese and ducks and crows and osprey. They all take care of their kids together, but not the turkeys. Mother turkey has a very challenging job. All right, so we'll go to Mother Turkey and Jeff and his garden, and thank you, Jeff, for the input, telling me, no, Tim, it's not 2 inches, it's only 1.5 inches. You were right, Jeff, I was wrong. Here's the and more beginning on the beach yesterday at lunchtime in Weymouth. 11:30. The radar shows some pretty heavy rain, even special marine warnings south of Block Island right now, headed towards the east and northeast. Some lighter rain coming right at Boston. So we've heard some different noises down here. I looked out the window and a little different phase is going on. Let's try and set up the tripod here, stabilize the tripod, and do some time lapse of a different phase. The ramp being built by, looks more like carpenters and heavy-duty construction workers. They dug a big hole around the piles that were driven in there. Let this run. Oh, why is it moving? The ground is not stable. All right. And it's going to start to rain. I don't know if I want to mess up my camera, so I might have to build a tent or something for it. It's almost lunch hour. Hopefully they're not going to lunch. Been about a half hour. Steady rain is arriving. I don't need to soak my camera. Looks like it's going kind of slow down there. Did anything interesting happen? I can probably watch from indoors. Forms continue to get strengthened. The air has just shifted. Now note the boats are pointed towards the northwest. I think that may have more to do with the outgoing tide. I mentioned today is a full moon. It's the full strawberry moon. Is it today? I think it is. And it's running really low. So apparently, if we can see the moon tonight, it's one of the lowest in the sky full moons. Just thought of that. I don't think we'll be able to see it. Off to the south right now, some pretty heavy rain. We're just getting into the warm sectors, my guess is, with this air no longer moving in from the northeast. It's pretty much just calm. And along with the warm front, you usually have your most dense fog, and south in the warm air are the heaviest rains coming in right now for the next couple of hours. It'll be interesting to see if we get another round of showers and thunderstorms, because originally it looked like the heaviest rain for southeastern Massachusetts wasn't going to be until 4 or 5 in the afternoon, so it's not even 1 o'clock yet. Play by play every day. Where'd that come from? That's interesting. Making a groove, perhaps for some metal supports. Pretty good shower there. I think the rain is let up, and I think the wind's coming around from the south. And yes, I did pull the trigger on some chicken soup. It's like stew, but soup, but inspired by this chilly June weather. Training storms headed for Cape Cod. I just talked to Jeff in South Dennis. He says it's barely raining. So it's very tall clouds, and there's been lightning and thunder there crossing the vineyard. So let's drive south and see what we find. Our boats were pointed west, now they're pointed southeast again. Pretty fickle light winds with a almost triple point low going right over us. Those triple point lows, talk about them all the time. Going south. Moving into Plymouth now, just past 5 o'clock, Cape Cod 8 miles, and a little unusual when the rain is heavier toward the Cape Cod Canal and Cape Cod. Usually a summer pattern that features the rains heavier away from the canal, but good sign for green grass in June and July as we get the wave on a warm front here, almost a little tropical connection. Not much wind. Word from Nantucket, Captain Peacock today says sun almost came out, also dense fog, light variable wind, not too many isobars. And still calling the play-by-play on the rains. Sunset still a few hours away. Heaviest rain of the day right here on the Mid-Cape. 61 degrees, 5:45 p.m. We're in Yarmouth. Still in the Yarmouth. Still in Yarmouth. Now we're in Dennis. Bass River. And it's pouring. Yay. Why, yay? I haven't turned my irrigation on. I got a worm farm and I planted seed. And I love green grass and green everything. And we're here in South Dennis. I left the window open a tiny bit. Keep the house aired out. 63 indoors and outdoors. Should I turn on the heat? I should just start by closing the window. I turned on the heat. Yeah, I'm not gonna just sit there in 63-degree weather when I get a perfectly good furnace downstairs. Call me a turkey. I like it a little warmer. They grow up so fast, don't they? You can eat all those yellow flowers that you want. Just leave me some green grass. Sorry, geranium, for all this cold weather. How much rain? Where's my rain bucket? It's over here. No way. It says more than 2.5 inches. Not today, is that? We'll get confirmation from Jeff. All right, so the turkeys are in the backyard. Let's see if we can count the number of babies. I think we had 13 last count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Or at least 10. Yeah, rather domesticated. That's right, some of my viewers were saying. Oh, and the peony just blooming now down here. Jeff confirms that it's well over an inch. Jeff is the real observer. And all the turkeys just flew up onto your roof, Anna. Yeah, I'm in bare feet. I turned the heat on in the house, but running down the road, green grass forever. So the turkeys all just flew up there. Let's see if we can't see them. There they are, all snuggled together. Oh my goodness, you can't see them, can you? How about now? How about now? How about now? She's got her wings over the babies. Oh, this is so cute. Cute or not cute? Jeff does not think they're cute. Are you gonna sleep there? Is it bedtime? Oh, there's one baby that is having trouble finding its way up there. Mama's right over your head watching all the other babies. And this one's wondering, how did they get up there? Well, I'll give you a hint. You gotta go up on the roof, go up to the ridge, and then a leap of faith way up there. Babies just went into the rhododendron. It's working on it. I think there are a couple of the babies still in the rhododendron. Close enough, right? Jeff's ancient rain gauge, it's over by an inch, 0.1, so that's 2 inches. So how much rain? Once it spills over, every tenth is another.
Yeah, you
I mean, every hundredth is another tenth.
like
So
to
if it
count it
says
like that, so-
if it says 0.1 over, that means it's 2 inches.
No,
Do you have 2 inches on your other gauges?
no, probably 1.4. The Tempest says.
Tempest. He's got one that goes right inside the house.
This looks nice and clean.
What's that one say inside the house?
That's about the same. And there's this one here too. It doesn't get the greatest because the plants cover it. At least it's in the garden. And that's that cylinder without the inside cylinder.
That's 2 inches. We've had 2 inches of rain.
Oh, 1.4, 1 inch and a half.
Overachiever in South
Good
Dennis.
rinsing for everything.
All the pyramids of Robert Arthur Way here.
Yeah, got all nice washed off. The lighthouse.
Rose is looking good.
We're actually gonna get some good. We got some good solar today.
It's got his Starship Enterprise here.
No wind at all.
And turkeys up in the tree. You love those turkeys, don't you?
I hate them.
Oh, that's nice.
They poop everywhere. I hit them with my super soaker and just keep them off the property.
Yeah, obviously they don't
Hey,
like
what
rain.
happens? You said the rest of them are in the roadies. They all got to be up high. So his mom hasn't squawked at him.
A great part of living both in Weymouth and the Cape is this almost 2 different climate zones. Well, it is 2 different climate zones, so things here are a little bit behind the Boston area, so we still get some rhododendron. The peony is just starting to bloom down here. The roses haven't opened yet. And the turkeys, I don't know the difference. I think their turkeys are a little older down here, maybe. So let's just play this out now, right here, unless the sun comes out, with Mama and her babes on a branch above Anna's house. Can y'all sleep like that? Way overachieving rain here in South Dennis. I think Weymouth probably less than 2/10. It was 0.12 from that rain earlier in the day. So we got into the warm sector on Cape Cod, higher dew points, and enough of a boundary to keep the lift going. Different than Weymouth, which we're looking at Weymouth right now. And directly under Mom. Majesty of nature and motherly instinct. And the other kids are down in there, safe and sound. Until tomorrow. Thanks for watching.